I've hired SOC analysts across 3 different regions. I've reviewed hundreds of CVs, and I can tell you right now, the people who got the job didn't have a computer science degrees. They didn't have 5 years of experience. They followed a blueprint almost identical to the one I'm about to give you for free in this video. If you're thinking about getting into cybersecurity but you have no idea where to start, or you've been going in circles watching videos, collecting bookmarks, and still haven't made progress, stop everything. This is the only video you need. I'm Marius. I'm a CISO at financial services company. I run cybersecurity consultancy, and I've spent years helping people break into this industry. Not through gatekeeping, not through you need a degree first nonsense, through real, practical steps that actually gets you results. Here's exactly what we're covering today in this video. The foundation knowledge you need. Think of it as understanding how computers and networks actually work. We're talking CompTIA A level plus knowledge where you don't necessarily need the certificate. Networking fundamentals, how devices talk to each other, and why this matters in security. Network Plus and CCNA level concepts. Your first real security certification, which is CompTIA Security Plus. This is the golden ticket that opens the doors. Building hands-on skills using platforms like tryhackme and building your own home lab so you can actually prove that you know what you're doing. Creating a CV that stands out using action statements and proof that make hiring managers stop scrolling. The job application strategy, how to actually land interviews, including the LinkedIn message that makes you unforgettable. This is the complete 6 to 9 months roadmap. You can do this while working full-time, you can do this without a degree, and you can do this without spending thousands. So, let's get into this. Before we dive in, I need to be honest with you. Breaking into cybersecurity is hard. Not impossible, but just hard. And I would rather tell you that now than you have to give up a month in 3 because you weren't expecting it. Here's what you're up against. Entry-level job postings asking you for 2 to 3 years experience. HR systems that automatically reject your CV because it doesn't have the right keywords. People with degrees and connections competing for the same roles. But here's what nobody tells you. The barrier isn't talent. It's not intelligence. It's not even experience. The barrier is that most candidates can't show what they can do. They've got certificates but can't investigate an alert. They've memorized definitions but can't explain what they would actually do in a real situation. This blueprint fixes that. We're not just collecting certificates, we're building skills you can demonstrate, prove, and talk about in interviews. That is the real difference. So, let's start with the foundation, phase 1. And this is where most people either skip ahead too quickly or get stuck forever. Don't do either. Before you can actually secure computers, you need to understand how they work. That sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people jump straight into hacking tutorials without understanding what is an operating system and what does it do. I'm talking CompTIA A+ level knowledge here. Now, do you need the actual A+ certificate? No, not for SOC analyst role. You can do it unless if you want your knowledge to be proven, but you only need the knowledge that it covers. Think of it as your foundation, like learning to walk before you can try to run. What you need to understand is, you need to understand how an operating system works, whether it's Windows or Linux. What happens when you turn the computer on? What's running in the background? How do programs talk to each other? Basic hardware concepts. Think of it like CPU, RAM, storage. You don't need to build PCs, but you need to understand what these components do. Because when something goes wrong in security, you need to understand where the problem is. The command line. This is massive. In security, you live in command line. Learn basic Windows command prompt, basic PowerShell commands, and basic Linux terminal commands. ls, cd, cat, grep, these will become your best friends. What a process is, what is a service, what is a log file. Because when you're working as a SOC analyst, you're going to be reading a lot of log files all day long. You need to know what you're looking at. The resources for the Phase 1A is Professor Mess's A+ course. That's free on YouTube. The best free resource out there. Watch the sections on operating systems, command line, and troubleshooting. Skip the hardware deep dives unless you are really interested. PowerShell in a Month of Lunches. That's a great book. Brilliant for learning PowerShell in a bite-sized chunks. Over the Wire, Bandit. Over the Wire, War Games and / Bandit. It's a free Linux command line challenges. Start here. It teaches you Linux through puzzles, which is genuinely fun. Next one is tryhackme. The pre-security learning path, which is a free tier, covers all the basics and it's interactive. Time investment? I would say 1 to 2 hours a day for 3 to 4 weeks. That's it. You're not becoming an IT technician. You're building enough understanding to make security concepts click later. Now, the next phase is networking. How devices talk to each other. That's months 1 to 2, essentially overlapping. Now, everyone says learning networking, but nobody tells you how deep to go, so let me save you months of confusion. You do not need to become a network engineer. You don't need to configure routers, and you don't need to understand advanced routing protocols. What you do need is, you need to understand how data moves from one device to another. Because when something suspicious happens on a network, you need to understand what normal looks like before you can spot the abnormal. Here are 7 networking concepts that you actually need. First of all, IP addresses. Every device has an address, like a house number for computers. You need to know the difference between a private address and a public address. That's pretty much it. Ports. Think of ports like doors on a building. Each door leads to a different service. Port 80 is web traffic. Port 443 is a secure web traffic. Port 22 is remote access. Know the top 20 common ports and what they're for. Now, number 3 is DNS. This translates website names like google.com into IP addresses. Think of it like a phone book for the internet. Attackers abuse it constantly, which is why you need to understand it. Number 4, how web traffic works. HTTP and HTTPS. You type in a URL, your computer looks up the address, connects, sends a request, gets a response back. Understand this flow, because you'll be analyzing web traffic as a SOC analyst. Number 5, the OCI model. 7 layers of how networking works. You don't need to memorize every detail. Just understand that data travels through layers and different security threats happen at different layers. TCP versus UDP. TCP is, remember that, the TCP is a reliable delivery, like a tracked post. UDP is fast but unreliable, like dropping a leaflet through the door. Attackers use both, but they use them differently. And lastly but not least, number 7 is subnet. Groups of IP addresses on the same network. You don't need to calculate subnets manually. Just understand the concept of grouping devices together. That's it. 7 concepts. That's your networking foundation. Here's the interview question that tests this. What happens when you type google.com into your browser? You can walk through a DNS lookup, TCP connection, HTTP request, and the response you pass. That's the bar. Should you get Network Plus certificate? If you're coming from a completely non-technical background, yes, it helps prove you've put in the work. If you've got some IT experience already, learn the concepts and save the exam fee for the Security Plus. That's the one that really matters. Now, the resources for this phase are Professor Mess's Network Plus course, again, free on YouTube. Watch first 10 to 15 videos that cover everything listed above. Network Chuck's Networking Basics playlist. Free, more entertaining, same core information. Wireshark. Download it, capture your own network traffic, and start looking at packets. This is the best way to make networking real. Jason Dion's Network Plus practice exams on Udemy. Wait for sale. It's normally 12 to 15 pounds or 15 to 20 bucks, only if you're going to do the actual certificate. CCNA is an alternative path if you want to go deeper into networking. David Bomball's course on Udemy is excellent, but for SOC Analyst Network Plus, level is sufficient. Again, time investment is 3 to 4 hours total for the core concepts, or 6 to 8 weeks if you're studying for the Network Plus exam. All right. Phase 2 is where it gets real. If there is one certification that opened doors for cybersecurity, this is the one, the CompTIA Security Plus. This is the industry-recognized baseline. When hiring managers see Security Plus on your CV, they know you understand fundamentals. Most SOC analyst jobs postings either require it or prefer it. It's also approved by the US Department of Defense, which means it's trusted globally. What Security Plus covers and why it matters. The CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. These 3 words are the backbone of everything you'll do in security. Every decision, every control, every incident response comes back to these 3 concepts. Common attack types, such as phishing, ransomware, man-in-the-middle, SQL injection. You learn what these are, how they work, and how to defend against them. Authentication versus authorization. Who are you versus what you are allowed to do? Sounds simple, but getting this wrong is behind most security breaches. Incident response. What to do when something bad happens. This is literally your day as a SOC analyst. Encryption and cryptography basics. How data gets protected. You don't need to be a mathematician. You need to understand what encryption does and when it is used. Risk management and security frameworks. How organizations actually approach security. This is where you start thinking like a professional, not just a technician. This isn't just certification collecting. This is your security vocabulary. When someone mentions zero-day vulnerability, or privilege escalation, or defense in depth, you'll understand it immediately and what matters in interviews. The study method that actually works is: watch one section of Professor Messer's Security Plus course. Take notes by hand. Studies show handwriting improves retention compared to typing. Immediately try to explain the concept out loud, as if you're teaching someone. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it yet. Take practice tests on that section. Jason Dion's practice exams are brilliant for this. Book your exam date now, even before you feel ready. Having a deadline changes everything. Without it, you'll study forever and never sit the exam. The resources for this phase are, as I said, Professor Messer's SYO 701 course, free on YouTube. This is your primary study resource, non-negotiable. Jason Dion's Security Plus practice exams on Udemy. Wait for sale, again, 15 to 20 bucks, closest to the real exam format. CompTIA Security Plus exam objectives. That's a free PDF from CompTIA website. Print this out. Tick off every objective as you learn. Reddit, CompTIA subreddit. The real people sharing study tips, exam experiences, and encouragement. Search before you ask. Security Plus exam costs approximately £350, 450 bucks. This is the one exam worth actually paying for. Do not waste money on boot camps charging thousands of dollars or pounds for the same content that's free and online. The next phase is skills. This is the phase that separates people who get hired from people who keep applying and hearing nothing back. Certificates prove you've studied. Hands-on skills prove that you can actually do the job. And this is where it gets fun. TryhackMe and structured learning platforms. TryhackMe is hands down the best platform for beginners to build real security skills. It's designed as a game. You complete rooms, earn points, and climb the rankings. But don't let gamification fool you. You're learning real-world skills. Here's what to expect and the path I recommend you doing. Start with the SOC Level 1 learning path. This is specifically designed for aspiring SOC analysts. Cover SIM tools, log analysis, digital forensics, and incident response. The exact skills you'll use from day one. Then do the cyber defense path. This builds on the SOC path and adds threat intelligence, malware analysis basics, and network security monitoring. Complete at least 30 rooms in total. Screenshot your progress, export your profile stats. This becomes part of your portfolio. Document what you learn. Write short notes after every room. What was the challenge? How did you solve it? What tool did you use? This is building your interview answers without even realizing it. TryhackMe has a free tier that's decent, but the premium one for £10 a month is genuinely worth it. That's less than Netflix subscription for something that could change your career. Now, the biggest part and the most important part, and that's the most fun part, is building your home lab. And honestly, this is the thing that will set you apart from 90% of other candidates, is building a home lab. A home lab is basically a mini security operations center running on your own computer. Sounds complicated, but it's not. And it costs almost nothing. Here's what you're going to build. You need to download VirtualBox. It's a free software. This lets you run multiple computers inside your computer. Think of it as creating fake computers to practice on. Then you'll set up Kali Linux. This is the security professional's toolkit. It comes preloaded with every security tool you're going to need. Install Windows Virtual Machine. Microsoft offers Windows VMs for testing. This simulates the environment you'll be protecting. Set up a SIM tool, such as Wazoo or ElasticSIM. This is the same type of software you'll use as a SOC analyst. Free, open source, and impressive on your CV. Add vulnerable machines. Now use Metasploitable or DVWA. These are deliberately insecure systems designed for you to practice attacking. Completely legal because they're running on your own machine. And then set up a pfSense as your virtual firewall. Segment your network like a real company would. This shows you understand network architecture. Now here's the important bit. Don't just build it. Document everything. Take screenshots of your setup. Write about what you learned. Create a diagram of your network. Put it all on a GitHub page. Or better, even share it on your LinkedIn. When a hiring manager asks, do you have any practical experience? You pull out your phone, show them your home lab architecture and say, I built this. Here's what I learned. And here's a detection rule I wrote that catches this specific attack. Game over. You've just beaten every candidate who only has certifications. The resources include, as I said, TryhackMe, SOC Level 1 path, and Cyber Defense path. Free tier available, premium is £10 a month. Hack the box. More advanced than TryhackMe, great once you build confidence. VirtualBox, free virtualization software. Kali Linux, free security-focused operating system. Wazoo, again, free open source SIM, excellent for home labs. ElasticSIM, another free SIM option with great documentation. Metasploitable from Rapid7, free vulnerable VM for practice. DVWA, damn vulnerable web application, free web application for security to practice. pfSense is a free firewall software. Check out my dedicated home lab build video on this channel for the full step-by-step walkthrough. Section next is optional bonus certifications. Quick note on additional certifications. Security Plus is your must-have. Everything else here is optional, but can give you an edge depending on what direction you want to go. Microsoft SC200, Security Operations Analyst Certificate. If you want to work in Microsoft-heavy environment, and a lot of companies use Microsoft, this is gold. It covers Microsoft Sentinel, Microsoft Defender, and how to investigate threats using Microsoft Security Stack. Most SOC analyst roles in the UK specifically ask for Microsoft Security Tool experience. Study material is free on Microsoft Learn, and the exam is around £165. Next, additional bonuses, Splunk Core Certified User. Splunk is one of the most widely used SIM tools in the industry. Having Splunk on your CV gets noticed. They offer free training through Splunk Education, and the certification exam validates you can use their platform. Really practical credential. But let me be clear. Don't let certification collection delay your job search. Security Plus a solid home lab plus documented tryhackme progress is enough for you to start applying. Get extra certs after you land the job, and your employer will actually pay for them. Now, building a great CV, stuff that actually gets you noticed. This is where most people completely blow it. They do all the learning, pass the exams, build the lab, and then write a CV that looks like everyone else's. Generic, forgettable, straight to the rejection pile. Your CV needs to do one important thing. It needs to prove that you can do the job. Not that you've studied for it, not that you are interested in it, that you can actually do the job. And here's how. Action plus proof statement formula. Every bullet on your CV should follow this formula. What you did plus what it proved or achieved. Bad example is studied cybersecurity and earned Security Plus certification. Now, a good example will look achieved CompTIA Plus Security Plus certification, demonstrating expertise in threat detection, incident response, and risk management frameworks. Now, another bad example is I built a home lab. Now, a good example looks like this. Designed and deployed a security operations lab featuring Wazoo, SIM, Kali Linux, and pfSense firewall, creating 15 plus custom detection rules that identify common attack paths, including brute force attempts and lateral movement. Another bad example is use tryhackme. A good example looks like this. I completed 50 plus hands-on cybersecurity exercises on tryhackme, including log analysis, network forensics, and malware investigation, achieving top 5% ranking globally. You see the difference? Action verbs, specific numbers, demonstrable outcomes. This is what makes hiring managers stop and say, let's interview this person. CV structure for career changes. If you're changing careers, your CV structure matters. Put these sections in this order. Professional summary first. 3 lines max. Who you are, what you bring, what you're targeting. No waffle. Number 2, certifications. Put this high on your CV. Security Plus, any Microsoft certs, tryhackme achievements. This is what passes the keyword filters. Number 3, technical projects and home lab. This is your experience section. Detail your home lab, your tryhackme rooms, any GitHub projects, use the action plus proof formula every single time. Technical skills is number 4. SIM, log analysis, incident response, Wireshark, Nmap, PowerShell, Linux match the exact keywords from job postings. Previous work experience, reframe your previous roles to highlight transferable skills. Problem solving, attention to detail, working under pressure, documentation, communication. Those are real security relevant skills. And number 6 is education. Whatever you've got, a degree, a diploma, relevant courses. If you don't have a degree, don't worry about it. The sections above this will carry the weight. And one more thing. Keywords. Most companies use applicant tracking systems that scan your CV before a human ever sees it. If the job description says SIM, experience, your CV needs to say SIM. If they say incident response, you say incident response. Don't paraphrase, use their exact language. Now, the job hunt, becoming the unforgettable. You've built the knowledge, you've got the certification, you've got hands-on skills that most candidates can only dream of. Now is the time to make it count. And I'm going to tell you something that most career coaches won't. Applying online and waiting is the worst strategy. It works maybe 2% of the time. We're going to be smarter than that. LinkedIn is your active job search weapon. First, your LinkedIn profile needs to be optimized, not just filled in, optimized. Your headline, don't write aspiring SOC analyst. Write something like Security Operations Analyst, CompTIA Security Plus, SIM, Threat Detection and Incident Response. Speak as if you already are what you are becoming. Your About section. Tell your story in 3 to 4 paragraphs. Why you're transitioning, what you've built, what you're passionate about. Be real. Hiring managers, read these. Your featured section, that's where you pin your home lab architecture diagram, link to your GitHub, show your tryhackme profile, give visual proof of your work. Post 2 to 3 times a week, share what you're learning, comment on security news, engage with people in the industry. This gets you on the people's radar before you even apply. Now, the actual application strategy is this. Target job titles such as Junior SOC Analyst Level 1, IT Security Analyst, Security Operations Analyst, Security Monitoring Analyst. Some companies also hire under the help desk with security focus. Don't overlook these. They can be a great way in. Apply 5 to 10 targeted jobs per week, not 50 generic applications. 5 to 10 customized ones. For each application, read the job description carefully. Adjust your professional summary to match their specific needs. Make sure their keywords appear in your CV. Mention their company name if you write a cover note. Now, this is the bit that nobody does, and it's the reason most people never get called back. After you submit your application, find the hiring manager on LinkedIn or head of security or SOC team lead and send them the message. Not a begging message, but please give me a chance. A professional, confident message that makes them remember you. Here's a simple template. Hi, and then obviously state your name. I've just applied for the, and then role title, position on your team. I'm a career changer who's built practical security skills, including a home lab with SIM monitoring and 50 plus completed security exercises on tryhackme. I know my background is non-traditional, but I believe the practical experience I've built demonstrates real capability. I would love 15 minutes to discuss how my skills could add value to your team. Either way, thanks for your time, and I hope to hear from you and then your name. Maybe half won't respond, but that's fine. But the ones who do, that's a conversation, that's a connection, and that's infinitely better than being an anonymous CV in a pile of 200. I've been the person receiving those messages, and I can tell you, when someone takes the time to reach out, show initiative, and demonstrate they put in the work, they go to the top of the pile every single time. Now, the complete timeline at a glance. Let me pull it all together. So, month 1 to 2 is a foundation where you're studying the A plus knowledge, operating systems, command line, networking concepts. Can explain how computers and networks work. Month 3 to 4, we're studying Security Plus. Study and pass the Security Plus. Your deliverable is actually being certified. Months 4 till 6 is tryhackme SOC path, build home lab, and document everything. Your deliverables should be 30 plus rooms completed on tryhackme, working home lab with SIM. Now, as I mentioned previously, you can include here months 5 to 6 as bonus certs. Optional, you do SC200 and Splunk Core certified user. Additional credentials, they're relevant for specific employers. Now, month 6 to 7, you're building CV. Action plus proof CV, LinkedIn optimization, and portfolio. Your goal should be to have interview-ready CV and professional online presence. Month 7 to 9 is job hunt, targeted applications, hiring manager outreach, job offers, and interviews. The total cost, if you're being smart about it, Security Plus exam is around £350, as I said, maybe $450. Practice exams, that's £15. tryhackme Premium for a few months, that's £30 to £60. Everything else is free. You're looking at under £450 to completely change your career. Compare that to thousands of bootcamp teaching you the same stuff. Which one you gonna choose? Now, bonus section. What to expect in first 90 days in your cybersecurity role. Quick bonus, because I want you to be fully prepared. Here's what actually happens when you land your first SOC analyst role. First week, you'll be completely lost. Everyone talks in acronyms. You'll Google things privately. That's normal. Everyone does that, even experienced people. First month, you'll realize the SIM produces thousands of alerts daily. Most are false positives. Your job is finding the real threats. It's detective work, not Hollywood hacking. Month 2, imposter syndrome hits hard. Everyone seems confident. You think, I shouldn't be here. Secret is, they felt the exact same way at your stage. Month 3, you start recognizing patterns. That weird alert from last week, you see it again. You know what it means. This is when it starts clicking. The 3 survival rules are: ask questions constantly, document everything you learn, and never ever be afraid to say, I don't know, but I will find out. That's what professionals do. Now, that's the complete blueprint. From zero knowledge to interview-ready SOC analyst in 6 to 9 months. No degree required, no thousands of boot camp required. Just commitment, consistency, and willingness to feel uncomfortable while you're learning. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, where are you in this journey right now? Are you right at the beginning? Halfway through? Already applying? I want to know, because I read every single comment and I will respond with you guys. If you found this valuable, please smash the like button. Not for the algorithm. Well, partly for the algorithm, but because it helps other people in the same situation find this video and they need it. Subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already. I'm putting content out every week on cybersecurity careers, practical skills, and real talk about industry. No gatekeeping, no fluff, just the stuff that actually matters. And if you know someone, a friend, a colleague, someone on your timeline who's been talking about getting into cybersecurity but doesn't know where to start, send them this video. Be the person who actually helps instead of saying, yeah, you should look into this. If you want the detailed home lab guide, I've got a full video of that right here on the channel. I'll add a link in the description. And one last thing. 6 months from now, you're either in exactly the same position you're in right now, or you're sitting in your first SOC analyst interview with the skills, the knowledge, and the proof to back it up. The difference is whether you start today. So stop watching, start building, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then.